Bonjour mes amis, hi guys.
Bonjour Simon. Yes, the mighty Simon is back on the channel. This time he's going to share with us a brand new acquisition. We're going to do two videos actually today because he just bought two watches. You had to, right?
Exactly.
You just could not say no.
Yeah, I could not retain myself.
Did you tell your wife? Did you show both watches to your wife?
Yeah, she's well aware and she's approving both purchases.
She's consenting?
So, yeah, for this, yes.
for watches, yeah. All right, we're gonna start with this beauty, and in the next video, so we don't have to rush it, we'll talk about a very special other watch. This one is very special too. What is it?
It is indeed very special. So as you can see, it is a Worldtimer, quite obviously. What is less obvious is the brand. If you focus on it, you will see that it is a Montblanc Worldtimer. It's the Orbis Terrarum. And this watch has been under my radar since maybe 2016, 2017.
Oh, I didn't know you had it in your sight actually.
Yes, it was when I started my watch collecting journey. I wanted a Worldtimer. You know, sometimes you want to tick all the boxes, and I have like my kind of wish list. This one caught my attention. One of my favorite colors is blue, and as you can see, the dial got plenty of blue on it, including like dark blue and more like paler blue. The most interesting feature of that watch, obviously, is a Worldtimer, but it's a real Worldtimer. So as you can see, if you click on the pusher, take notice at the bottom there is a little red arrow, and this indicates the city where we are, or the time zone where we are. So unfortunately on this one, some people might notice it's not the beautiful Hong Kong that we love, it's more the dark side.
Be careful what you say.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's more the other city that we all know as well, which is Beijing. Initially, I was looking for a different Worldtimer over the past few years. Obviously, as some of you may know, like Hong Kong is slowly disappearing from the dial of most company. If you take a look at the Worldtimer from Patek Philippe, maybe 10 years ago, it was indicating Hong Kong. The most recent incarnation indicates Beijing. So sign of our time, I guess.
There's one company still keeping it. What is the one we saw not long ago?
If I remember correctly, in the affordable, there is Christopher Ward. Of course, it's a cheaper version, but I still think they have Hong Kong.
No, I think there's a high-end brand. Anyway, with
GLC. No, I think they switched.
Have they switched as well?
Yeah.
I'll try to put a picture, because recently I think we did see a watch. I was surprised to see Hong Kong was retained, but most brands indeed have switched to Beijing. But this model, this iteration in particular, do you know from which year it is?
Yeah. So obviously this one is the very original release from SISH 2015.
Oh, that's the first one.
Yeah, that's the
and
first one.
And they had switched already, because I thought they only switched a couple of years ago. Patek only switched a couple of years ago.
Well, from day one they were.
And no offense to Beijing.
No.
There's plenty of wonderful people there.
Of course not.
But it's true that we both have been in Hong Kong more than 10 years, and it's nice to have a memento of the city, and what better way to do it than through a Worldtimer. But anyway, moving on from that, so this watch has been around for a while.
Yeah, indeed. So since 2015, as I was saying, it has been released under the Heritage Spirit Collection, and this is the very first incarnation that we're looking at today. So in 2016, they've changed a little bit. So the one we're looking at today is a 41 millimeter diameter. And if you take a look as well, this one is on bracelet. In 2016, they decided to move it to a new collection, the 4810 collection instead of the Heritage Spirit collection, and they increased the diameter of the dial by 2 millimeter, bringing it to 43. But this one is 41. So you and I, we have a wrist pretty much the same size, a little bit below 70 inches. So it wears very well because it's 41. I think 43 for me, it's pushing it. But in this case, the bracelet hedged very well. So it's quite durable.
Wears amazing. Maybe I'll demonstrate for everyone, since I'm on the left side of the camera. I'm really surprised how light it feels first because of that really super light bracelet, and how slender the watch is. Really a very handsome classic case, not that different from Longer, to be honest, if I may say so. And it wears, even here from close to the camera, there's nowhere near the edge of my wrist, so 41. Great. It's not easy to find a Worldtimer at the right size because they want to put a lot of information around it, but I think they do it here with a lot of class.
This one is very classy, as you said. You and I, we saw the one from Omega. We both love Omega as a brand. Obviously, it's a different style. The one from Omega is way much chunkier. It's a good 43 or 44 if I recall. But more importantly, the case is extremely big and more sporty. This one is very classy, and over the next few weeks, I will try to put it on a bracelet. On a leather strap, because I think the style is quite different. It's even more classy on a leather strap. But here in Hong Kong during summertime, it's so humid and it's so hot. Especially the past few days, we broke a record. Like I think that was the day before yesterday. We had like 36 Celsius, which is a record broken since 2060 something. So it's extremely hot. So it's better to have your watch on a nice bracelet.
It's a very nice bracelet. I mean, I'm even surprised by the bracelet as well, which is held by screws, and really super light feeling, and
very
looks
comfortable.
great. It doesn't look too sporty. It's a bit like what Patek puts on the 5960 calendar chronograph, annual calendar chronograph. It's a bit of a 90s feel to it. Really ideal for, as you say, the Hong Kong weather.
And one thing to notice is if you take a look, this watch is only 11.9 millimeter thick, and try to find a Worldtimer, especially this one is automatic. As you can see, there is a nice rotor. I think there's some Côte de Genève on the rotor, if I'm not mistaken. It's a nice rotor. So the movement is what they call the Montblanc caliber MB 29, sorry, the 20. But obviously it's the base is Celita SW350-1, and they have the so-called in-house Worldtime module put on top of it. So when you think about it, there's like 3 stacks in the sandwich. There is like the Celita, and then you have like the in-house Worldtimer module, and then you have like the automatic movement on it, but still managed to squeeze it down below 12 millimeter.
No running seconds.
No running second, which make it like a classic, very classy, kind of dressy sort of watch.
It suits the place where we are. We are, by the way, at the Orbis in the Mandarin here in Hong Kong. Very chic, the kind of place where you don't really look at the seconds. You know, you let time pass as you enjoy your beverage. Wonderful. So the size is great. So to go back to the lineage, so you said 2016 changed family
Exactly.
within the collection.
So this one, 2015. In 2016, they changed it to the 4810 collection. They increased the size. The case is also a little bit rounder on the edge. And one other characteristic of the 2016 release is they added a tiny bit of color in the dial. So you will see a little bit of orange and green. This is to make a better distinction between daytime and nighttime. But if you take a look at this one, you still have the dark blue, which indicate nighttime. So if you take a look at, if you push the button and bring back paging on the bottom arrow, you will see that all the countries on the globe that are in the dark shade of blue, this is where it's actually still nighttime as we're filming this.
So 10 at night in Hawaii, New York, right 12 hours away from us. Indeed, and daytime is starting in London there.
It's a very interesting characteristic. Like
8 o'clock.
when you set the time, there's 2 positions on the crown, and I invite you to pull the crown. when you set the time, you will see it also rotate that night and day disc.
May I?
Yeah, please.
So it's okay. So it's not a screw down crown. There's only one position, I suppose.
There's two positions, one for the hour and one for the minute. If you pull it completely toward the end, you will do
Okay, so you can you go both ways?
yes.
Okay, so you go both ways, and then here you can stop the watch. Now wait, and then you can set your minutes.
Obviously,
leave
when
it
you
more
do
or less on time.
when you do this operation, you need to make sure that the time zone indicated at the bottom by the red arrow is exactly where we are today.
Yeah, of course now it's completely changed.
But don't worry about it.
Great.
So in 2017, what they've done is that they released some UNICEF special models. I remember well, I think it's 500 unit, 3 different models, one with the Arabic name of the city, so Arabic script, another one with Chinese, and another one with Latin. So obviously this one is also in Latin. The difference is with the UNICEF edition, they use the city of Geneva to indicate the Paris time zone, which is quite interesting. And in 2017, they went back to the 41 millimeter. So it's basically that watch, same case, same model, but with different font, different script for the city. And now today, if you look on the Montblanc website, you will observe that they are pushing it into a new collection, which is called the Star Legacy collection, and they are bringing it back to 43. So they've done 41, 43, 41, 43.
I gotta say, this one looks amazing. And of course, one of the main features is the animation on the dial.
And there's also a nice story about how I managed to grab this watch.
Yeah, I was supposed to be with you.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have grabbed it actually, because what was the story?
So long story short, we won't name the authorized dealer, but this authorized dealer that we both know
We
very
can.
well.
Or
Shall we?
if people might notice actually what it is here from the.
So I guess we cannot hide it, right? Is it?
There you go, Oriental. It's one of our favorite places
Yeah, to be honest.
to go shopping. So they were having a VIP
Private sale, private sale, VIP.
Well, pretty much anybody who buys anything becomes a VIP there. So
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
a lot of attendance.
Oh my God, yes, tell me about that. So a couple of days before the private sales, most of us that shop at Oriental Watches, we receive an MMS of all things, old technology, but we receive an MMS.
Yeah, they're very 1986.
Yeah, sort of. But yeah, they were inviting us to attend their private sale with featuring up to 90% off on selected watches. So yeah, well, I decided to sync up with my friend Optic, and what happened is that he was kept too busy at work, but I managed to go there like 10 minutes before the sales started, and to my big surprise, or maybe I was not so surprised, there were already like maybe 20, 25 people in front of me. The gate was not even open yet, and when they opened the gate, there were 2 rooms, and of course, like, people, they rushed themselves trying to snap all the remaining watches. There was a lot of brands like the Piaget, the Chopin, even Omega was there, and obviously.
So the day before, the VVIPs and the friends and the families probably get their own preview, and they picked up the most interesting stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously they left something on the table.
Obviously, they left something on the
So I
table.
was supposed to be there, but I just got busy at that moment, and I couldn't go. I went an hour later. I was so busy, people queuing outside. I didn't go in. But yeah, you were sending me pictures, and this is the one that was standing out among all the, let's say, somewhat dodgy things.
Yeah, well, it depends. I won't judge the taste of people, but there was a lot of
Well, nobody ever bought them, so
yeah, less
clearly
interesting
it doesn't
watches, let's
interest
say.
many people, yeah.
Yeah, less interesting watches, and maybe less interesting brand, but of all the brand, as some of you may know from the collection review we've done more than a year ago, I also own a Montblanc Héritage Chronométrie Ultra Slim, which I really love actually. So I like Montblanc as a brand. So I just decided to have a look at their counter, and out of nowhere, this one was kind of hidden in the midst of many other non-interesting Montblanc watches, and yeah, I spotted it and I was like, oh my god, can I have a look at this one? At the same time, I was snapping pictures, sending them to you, as you may remember, asking your opinion, even though my mind was already made that I'm gonna take this one back home.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I was definitely telling you to go for it. I remember visiting a multi-brand AD asking for something completely different, and he insisted on showing me the Montblanc Worldtimer for some reason. So yeah, I had seen it before, but probably not this. Actually, this iteration, probably a more modern one. I gotta say, I like this one a lot more. And so you grabbed it.
Yeah.
And can we talk a bit about price? Do you know what the retail is?
so the retail was somewhere north of 54 or 55 Hong Kong dollar, but still, it's, you know what, if you Google, if you look on YouTube, like review of this exact version, maybe a review from 4 or 5 years ago, it was deemed one of the most affordable Worldtimer in the world because it was only 55, 54 honkies, 1,000 honkies. And yes, I'm not sure if I can talk about the price, but let's just say I got it at 70% rebate, so you can do that.
Everybody's counting, so, and that's really where you want to grab. Let's be honest, that's where you want to be able to grab any watch. But certainly Montblanc, you get it pretty much at cost. Even less. I would expect cost to be higher than that. Maybe 40%. Most brands 30%.
If you look on Chrono of 24 these days, they are trading like north of 35, 38,000 Hong Kong dollars.
I imagine it can happen to a nice watch that nobody wants to purchase at retail, and then there's a new iteration coming in, and the shop doesn't sell it, and it sits there forever until it's not even on the display anymore. And then I don't know where this one came from a drawer or something. It's surprising.
It's surprising because it's
you would
brand
have
new.
paid more for it, right? You would have paid.
Yeah.
If it was in the shop.
Oh yes. Even
half price,
Oh
you
yeah,
would have
half
paid
price.
more,
I would have
right?
snapped it. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. But this was really a no-brainer. 70% off. It's like full no-brainer. Yeah, I'm so glad I did it. It was obviously brand new, fully stickered, everything. So yeah, that was a no-brainer.
Okay, so no regret.
Oh, absolutely no.
Full satisfaction.
Oh,
I gotta
yeah.
say, I'm mostly impressed by how light, slender it is, how crisp all the details are. I like the case. The pusher feel is very good, nicely defined, and the animation in the center is interesting. It's different from what the other brands do. And with the bracelet, I really like it. It's super soft with a good clasp.
Very comfortable.
Yeah, wonderful find, lucky find, and that's what makes the hobby fun, you know.
Exactly. Sometimes it's more about the actual journey or the experience. I went to this private sale without a very strong intention to buy anything. I was just curious to see what there was. My expectations were very low, especially that some people were already sharing some of the picture on social media and some of the horological group that we're part of the day before, and I was like, doesn't seem to have too many things interesting. There was some stuff from Zenith, which I also very liked, but then when I come across this one, I was like, man, no choice, I need to snap it. Yeah, Zenith, obviously.
This is what I was bringing to the table today. Okay.
Yeah, so next step for me is I still want the clasp, the original OEM Montblanc clasp, and I'll put it on a custom made, maybe a leather strap. I was thinking midnight, dark blue, alligator, crocodile, like grand écaille, as they say.
Once again, you're going crazy. Come on, man. That's a great bracelet. I would keep it on the bracelet.
Yeah, the bracelet is amazing.
Don't scratch it when you remove it. Cool.
Cool.
Is that about everything we wanted to go over? I gotta say, wonderful piece, and when you pay the right price, it feels much better. One more super close up on the disc, the spider web in the middle. Very cool. Yeah, when you try it on, you don't hesitate on this one like you do with the the Omega that you mentioned, the Aquaterra. You keep on looking at it, feeling it's just a bit too big.
Yeah.
For our size of wrist, it's just a bit too much. Cool. Well, merci Simon.
Merci à toi.
Thank you, Simon. I hope you guys have discovered something you didn't know maybe about today, or that you rediscovered this watch that you had seen before and see it in a better light here. All right, guys. We'll speak to you in the next one where we talk about Rolex.
Yes. Rolex.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.